As we come into line screens and the higher lines, the sending location setting, the configure system to its projector, its projection, we have to choose then how to monetize that. Monitoring line course centers the avatar line. It comes in its own classification system location to its setting all through timelines. The communication system. Now, the unification lines of your avatar is always in class line. It communicates to its own classification system, how it sees in lines of all levels, sees itself in space, or it sees itself in spaceless. It's already done everything through its unification setting. It's all done everything through its atmosphere line screens. It's done everything through its all position location infinity. That's already done through its equation of its eternity. You're just here to identify yourself, is to focus on nothing that shows you the mass of everything. And the more you get in that position, the more you stand out and monitor each other. Okay, through projection, how you see your avatar in real time, seconds, minutes, and hours in position in real time, what's going on with the class, what's going out of class, what's going on here, where you're next, where you're here, and how's your avatar in the classroom seeing you in real time through a projector only. And that's what you got to get in position of. So once you understand how to direct and redirect the system, once the avatar goes through its frame, okay, it sets it in rewind, and it sees you in rewind. So it's already set up where the avatar has already done this through its indication setting of its north, east, west, and south, through its coordinates, of its streaming, through its longitude and latitude. Now, this is where it comes in all communication setting. Once you guys get into your systems, interactions, comes in your classifications of grading, setting lines of travel, setting lines of direct link. This process your position, location, your systems, the truth understand how you come into yourself, all through representation. Okay. So we have a high line screen adaptations of recruiting in September, right? Where we have planets from other solar systems coming to attractions. But you start off in the line screens that communicates to its system all through Rainbow, Wave Shower, and Rainbow Warrior. Your classification basically puts everything where you guys are in your consciousness and set lines of travels, where you are in the percentage of your brain, your patterns, your operation, your sequence, your communication system, your schematics, your pi, your set position, your perimeters in that position location system. But your avatar is already done everything in classification, right? So that's what's happening now. We're in that setting. Okay, setting sequence, 12 lines of tether. Okay, so you're going to be detached, but still tethered in a higher formation lines of grounds. More clarity of focus if you don't focus on nothing, just focus on everything. Don't think about anything, because now you're seeing the film strip of where your avatar is going to be, where it's going to be next, and where it's going to be here. It's going to be there, it's going to be over here, 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 here. It's setting up everything that you've already been through infinity, through eternity. Now, infinity process position, how you see the seconds, minutes, and hours. You guys are getting into higher communication setting and grading of consciousness, becoming more consciously aware of where you are and what you've already done through its equation, all through your classrooms and its classifications. All right. Say 12 tethers and lines of screen, 4 in settings, 3 lines of signals, and position lines of set tractions. So we have 7 lines set position, right? Set course centers, location grid. Directing ground centers of service, sets communication system, all through traction, all through position, all through set calculations. Walking line screen adaptations process another location grid in set location. Set calculation lines, security lines, and communication lines of communication system, all through travel. Okay. Directing ground centers and high lines of sequence location system, all through calculations. All right. Then you come into your set core lines, indirect lines of grounds, and high lines of sequence location and setting. So calculate and modify, that's where you guys are given things in the classrooms of classifications. Sectors, vectors, and quadrants, right? Through your divisions, your allegiance, and your core that communicates your systems and settings, right? Through its alliance, right? But every time you come on my live in set lines of attractions, you guys are different classifications of schools that get you guys in position to your academies, right? So that's set position, all frame lines, and travel, okay? That's the phone, right? Okay, so you guys have here, that's all the information system and ground center locations, right? So your faces travel here, all right? That's where I see all your faces, all in order when you come on my live, okay? Your faces, all right? So it indicates line setting. I set the classifications, your grading, set position, all levels. You guys are never in the same location of a class, okay? Even though you're going through a 7-day week, right? So it's a 7-day week of no week, because my school itself, it doesn't exist, but it exists all at once, so it's all invisible. The process of communication setting to the phone line, process communication system of the attractions. Tethers and signals, tethers and grounds, calculate and modify, power line generations, power operation line sequence, power communication setting, into your Galaxy service, location system, all through attractions. Okay, so that's what goes on every single time you come on my live. So the connections to the avatars are now getting ready in sequence in that screen adaptation system. So let's get into classification. All right. All right, here comes the classroom. This is my face. Okay, that's me. All right. All right, set lines and core centers. This is you in settings. Okay, in your classrooms. This is what goes on every single day in real time. You're all set and signed to your own desk. Okay, so that's you watching me. Very powerful stuff, right? Okay, so as that's going, and that position location of cycle, let's get a calculate modify. Travels in point lines graph. So let's say the connection to your avatar wants to take 5-10 minutes and look where she is in position moderation system. She sees it through an open window through a plasma screen, right? And then she sees where she is into positions all through projection, right? So, and then that closes the window, it disappears, and then she continues on in class. It disappears, right? So she keeps set lines of monitoring system where she is in fractions of seconds, minutes, and hours, and position of her timeline, know exactly where she is in travel as the avatar continues on its path and goes back into class and communicates to all levels in general. That's how it's set up, okay, in your seconds, minutes, and hours. Okay, very simple, easy done. All right. Now you truly understand what's going on in that position locations. You get out of everything that you get in position lines, your 12 DNA lines of centers to put you in a classification setting where you guys in your gradings of your consciousness. All right. So let's get in zero ground lines, process calculus lines of graph centers. That comes into all communication setting, how you see that in configuration system. That's where you guys come into your schematics. That's why you have to understand how to identify these things. So let's get in screen adaptation with line centers. Okay, so in that position location settings, I'm here. Okay, sitting down in the chair. Okay, and your avatar comes to me, right, during class, ready to get in position of its activation because it's in a time lock screen through time edit platform. Setting course centers lines of travel knows exactly when it needs to be upgraded. All right, so this is your avatar and set positions coming to me, right? So as you come to me, you download the information to me, right? So as it's downloading to me, I download it to your projection, okay? Right here, this is your projector running its film strip and set tractions. Booyah. That's how this all works. You guys are at that levels now, okay? So it teleports down, right? You teleport it here, it comes to me. It set position lines of tractions, confirmation, back to the avatar. So you received it, right? Goes back up. Back to you. Okay, and then you continue on in the film strip of seconds, minutes, and hours in your day. Okay, that's what goes on every second, every minute, every hour when you come to me through upgrading, uplinking, and downloading. Now you understand what's going on? So all you're seeing is the projections of you, of what the avatar has already done and set traction. Okay? Does that help you guys out? And then it connects back to me, all right, that you got it through confirmation. There's the triangulation. And then you see it through a box frame and set tractions and set calculations. Okay? There you go, done. All right, so that should pretty much simplify every location setting to its classification of its classroom. I can constantly see me, right? So, and I'm everywhere in setting because we're all in different lines of schools. We're never in the same school. We're in a different location. So get in that position locations. Once you understand that in calculation setting, you start to understand your avatar. Okay, where your avatar is every second, every minute. It's walking here. It's going to this planet. It's going to this planet. It's going to this planet. Now you are now seeing it through its projection because you're allowing everything to go, right? So this is you, right? But you're seeing you now where you're going to be next in travel. Okay, that's how powerful it is. So you're no longer seeing the projection. You're actually seeing your avatar in the simulation. And your simulation sees you back in frame into all levels of projection. That's how you guys communicate with each other, back and forth, through telepathy. That televised this system of teleportation setting lines of travel that puts all communication setting telegraphing to what's going on with you in your seconds, minutes, and hours. That's all this is. Back and forth, back and forth. Communicating with you guys in telepathy, telekinesis, having ongoing conversations with your avatars in your seconds, minutes, and hours, in your timelines of past, present, and future. Okay, in settings. Now, your past, present, future is different timelines, but your future itself is no timeline because it's already done through pi. So that basically puts the lines of direct and redirect where it comes in that setting through location system, through your avatar, and set the location of projection. So your projection is now seeing you or where you are in your seconds and minutes in set traction. As your avatar is seeing you in projection, running through a film strip in set travel. Okay, so that's where it comes into frame by frame by frame, millimeters by frame, second meters by frame, roots, square root, square pi, anything in triangulation or anything through flux, all through setting. Okay, that's what's going on. All right, you guys are that now in settings. So getting you guys out of your line screens application, your system in 12 lines, get you out of detachments of everything in toxicity and set position of volume and mass, velocity to a location setting to accelerate the system all through tractions, directing ground centers location setting. All this is set position of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, different classifications. Going up to higher levels of pyramids and set travels and astral projections, astral connections, and your astral travels as set travels in that communication system all through traction. Different pyramids they go through its primer, at 3 centers of travel. Okay? So this is a pyramid, this is a pyramid, this is a pyramid. You go to higher levels of pyramids, all through setting, all through our operation, all through platforms, in my classroom and track location. Okay? So once you guys get to 12, it all lines syncs into 1. And then you got all this mass that you can work with inside the pyramid through astral travel and astral connections through its position, longitude, latitude through streaming into the center operation of you of set track correlation setting and travel. Sets communication lines at grounds, sets communication system, all through setting, all through clocking, all through foundation system, all through setting. Okay? So that's where it comes into upgradings. Okay? So you're just going to higher levels of pyramids, higher levels of the mind, higher levels of consciousness, higher levels of travel, astral projection, astral projection, astral projection. So now you know what you turn into. Your body turns into astral projection through travels, a mechanism that turns into a plasma screen, which is a TV screen. So the avatar can keep a monitoring system of you, of what you're doing in your seconds, minutes, hours, and frame. Okay? Astral projection. You become the projection. And it's astral connection. So your avatar can keep monitoring your system of where you are in your seconds, minutes, and hours. So when the avatar leaves frame, this is what happens next. So your avatar has done the day, right? Let's just start off the 24-hour. Okay, there's your avatar, right? So right now, your avatar sees where you are in frame. You're just a film strip. That's all you are, okay? Just a film strip, seasoned film strip. Right now, so as you're in transformation and receiving information, you get a confirmation, right? It's always in a triangulation back to me. That's the triangulation. Okay? Me, your avatar, and confirmation. In the center operation of setting sequence, which is your flux. Okay? Through intelligence. There's the face, there's the facade, there's your avatar. Okay? Which turns on the light and set travel. Okay, there's the flux capacitor. All right, so setting lines of sequence. Once the avatar is in position lines of panel, the process of communication setting puts everything locations of togetherness. That gets all communication of seconds, minutes, and hours in frame. Millimeters by frame, second meters by frame, 16,000 meters by frame, right? So the avatar basically is setting everything up through pi in that day. Sitting here in Pluto, sitting here in Jupiter, sitting here in Neptune. It's already set up, right? Now, in that position, once the avatar leaves the frame, guys, what happens in that position in tractions, it comes in this position, right? And then it goes here, back to ABC. That's the pi that you've already done, right? Now, it's in chronological order, going to C, D, E, F, G through a film strip of setting. And that's what's going on every single second, minute, your hour. Now, to process that position location is truly understand how to go through the platforms of past and present. Because there is no future, because you've already done it through pi. So it goes back to no beginning, okay? No setting, no traction or locations. Okay, so that's what you constantly do every second, every minute, every hour of your day. Setting lines of 24 hours, it's already done. So that's why there is no adaptation or tether attachment to your future, because it's already done through pi. And then you process the chronological order as the avatar sees you on standby. Did you receive the information? Transmitting, receiving. Receiving. Did you receive it? Right? Did you receive it on this day? Did you receive it on that day? Did you receive it on this day? Did you receive it on that day? It's already set up in 7 days. All in set position. Okay? That's what you have to start recognizing. So when you start recognizing, you let everything go and you focus on nothing, then you start to see the film strips of each other. There you go. Okay? But you're always in the projection now. Until you identify, you've already done everything of infinity, of eternity. All right? So you're just going through the frames of you, of your seconds, minutes, and hours, right? So the avatar has already done the equations, all through travel and set calculations, right? So now you're seeing the avatar where it's going in seconds, minutes, and hours in the classroom. How you communicate with each other through 2 film strips. Avatar sees you through projection through film strip, which is astral projection, through its astral connections, through its astral travels. That's how you're tethered and attached to each other when you come into that through fruition. And lights and travels that puts all communication lines of balance, how to identify yourself, how to get in that communication system, how to timeline your frames, know exactly what you're doing, frame by frame by frame. How the avatar sees you and how you see the avatar in real time. Okay, that's the difference of clocking though when it comes into foundations. So for example, when the avatar, okay, is talking to you, right, through projection, your projection is picking up the surf tone of communication, beta waves, alpha waves, delta, where you are in your emotional system. Now, if you're not in emotion, you'll pick up the frequency faster. You pick up the data, you pick up the intel, you pick up the information, you pick up the ground, you pick up the schematics, you pick up the primer. Quicker, 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 because you're not thinking about it. All you're doing is processing it now, a lot more faster in position of data intel. Now that processes communication system. The high lines are your communication setting to travel, to understand how to go through code weaving, telewaving, telegraphing, or telecommunication of teleportation, right? So you're constantly communicating with your avatar as your avatar is trying to talk to you in real time through a projector, astral projection. Okay, that's how your avatar in class right now in real time is seeing your body in a projector of astral projection. So I want to make it very well clear where that comes in through travels, through the connections that you guys are tethered and attached to through a moderation system of a plasma screen. Okay, so you're always connecting with each other. And it's more easier if you let everything go and just process everything through observation. Okay, now you guys are in moderation systems where your avatar comes in lines of sync when it comes into your system lines of travel, when it comes into your abundance through your manifestations, okay, through monetization, right? So that's where it comes in all formation lines of money. But money comes in all time frame, line, position, location, systems. But you have to truly understand how to see yourself, what's going on with all levels of you. So it's about understanding the seconds, minutes, and hours in each time frame, right? Each time frame is no time frame, which is all time frame, right? So the more you get out of nothing and the more you process everything, the more you see yourself, your actual self in class. You actually see yourself in the hallway. You actually see yourself in the dorm. You actually see yourself with each other in class because you're not focusing on anything else. You're not being distracted. You're just in the mind of empty space, right? And the more you go higher in the mind, the more you come into higher levels of grading of classifications. And when you get into that, after you get out of the 12, you're now in 13, you're going to higher levels of grading, high school, okay? Grading 6, 7, and 8, okay? High school, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? And university, right? 12 and up. Set lines of 3 signals, location system, all through track, little pyramid. Different levels, different screen lines, adaptations of flux over setting, all through classification. Right? That's all it is just a pyramid. But you're going through different pyramids and travel of astral projections in your systems and all communication system, all through activation. All right? That's one big, massive pyramid that you're connected through longitude and latitude that you can travel through in set travel communication. Okay? Very powerful stuff through grading. All right, so everybody get a bit of understanding how this works now through pi? How your avatar sees you through projection, seconds, minutes, and hours. So basically, when you have to understand how you're connecting, when you're talking, this is how it works with linear space of time, measure, and scale, guys. So when you're talking to your avatar, okay, so you send lines of 2 minutes. You're going to talk to your avatar right here, okay? Okay, you're talking to your avatar right there, right? This is you in projection. You're just running a film strip. You're both running a film strip. The only difference is your avatar is not a film strip. The avatar is only seeing you through a film strip, which is all of us a rewind. That's the pi. So you don't need to identify the future because it's already done through pi. So all you got to do is a chronological order, not say anything in position, not even think, because it's already done through its equation. So once you understand that position, then you go through your platforms, it travels. That communicates to your system all through calculations. Then you go through your travel communication system all through setting the location, your holographic gridding. Once you get in your gridding, then you get in your portals. Once you get in your portals, then you get in your stargates. When you get in your stargates, everything comes to traction, position of balance. All right, so you get positions here, oh, right there, right there, oh, right there, right there, oh, grading, 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 all in order. Then you go into the next grading, 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 in order, right? So you go on into the 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, and 10th grade, all in set position. Already set up through a holographic grid. So every time you go in that position, every time you graduate, you go through different portal, different stargate, different space, different time, but existing all at once in frame. So your avatar is watching everything you're doing in your seconds, minutes, and hours in set position. All through traction, all through location. And that's how it's set up in space and time through operation. Okay? Very simple to understand these things. So the more you get at resistance, the more you get to higher levels of consciousness. And the more you go into that, the more you go into the portals of stargates of communication system all through traction. Okay? That's all this is. All right, so for the phone call, right, you're 2 minutes. 2 minutes on the phone. Okay? Your avatar is going through 20,000 line settings of clocking in a clocking system, right? In space, that's 20,000 seconds, right? So it takes 20,000 seconds to reach the avatar. The avatar communicates back to you through pi, okay? So it comes into its position, to its setting of its earth, that tracks its communications to its ether, to its firmament, to its umbrella. Directing ground centers of surface, process communicates setting, clocks its system to all levels of its crop circles and set design. Calculate and modify, travels endpoint lines of graph, center calculates the setting to travel. Directing line signals, location system to sonar, echo, and set position lines of communications. Sets travel, endpoint lines of graph, sets the film chip lines of design, seconds, minutes, and hours, comes to position lines of past, present, and future, all at once, and set travel communication of communication. All done by equation. So that's what goes on. All right? So when you're setting up a signal of 5 minutes, okay, 5 minutes, okay? So what is that in tractions? Once you get into 5 minutes, then you get into hours. Hours comes into years. Years comes into light years. Light years comes into decades, and so on and so on and so on, through a clocking system, through your avatar. So your avatar is in seconds, minutes, and hours. But your avatar is in its own system, of its own setting, of its own space and time, and through its own operation system, because it's done everything through its infinity, that's already created everything through its eternity, which is all of us just creating. So for you to understand that, you have to understand how this all works and set time as space and space of time. All right, so 5 minutes on a call, okay, in sent lines of travels is 5 hours in space. 5 hours. So you're communicating. So your avatar is talking to you, to your projection of 5 hours on Earth. So 5 hours is already gone through pi. So your avatar comes in that position lines of traction, send lines of communication lines of 4 settings, 4 signals, sonar through echo. Ground standard lines of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 platforms of communications. Setting screen lines adaptations to your structure of design location setting position. Setting lines of sonar, echo line, course centers, lines of travels into your satellites of communication. Okay? Very powerful stuff. So when you get a call, okay, it's connecting to your system, to your Earth through projection, your astral projections, right? So it's trying to get you in confirmation. Did you receive that? Over. Roger that. Receive that. Over. Did you receive that? You know, Roger, over. Over and out, right? Copy that. Yes, copy. Please repeat, right? So tango, tango. So you're constantly in that position. Dun, 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 right? So we have to understand how this all works now at a higher lines of classification setting, especially when you go to higher lines of grading in positions, to your schools, to your classrooms, okay, to higher levels of astral projections, of astral travels, of astral connections that you're tethered to each other through a projection, guys. Your body becomes a projector, okay? So you see each other. You see each other. The more you come into each other, you more integrate yourself into the balance of each other. Then you process yourself more levels of yin and yang of connection system. You process lines of 6, that process lines of 9 comes in position location system, all through projection of high setting. Okay, so now you're seeing each other. The avatar is still seeing your projection, okay, in settings, all right, until you come out of everything, which is the mass of everything, which is the nothing. So the more you go higher, the more you disappear. You get out of set position. You come in your carbon, your silicone, you come into your all position, your crystalline, your connections, your anti-mental, your anti-carrion, and location out there, skelter. So the more you go higher, the more you get out of the mind. And the more you come out of the mind, the more you come in position of the mind itself that projects everything of its body through astral projection. Astral travels, astral connections. Now, when you come into that, you start using your voice through a definitive, to a cosmic view. Your mechanism, your audio lines, interlines this communication system that puts you all communication setting through your light language to clearing calls. As a direct line link, how you communicate to your avatar through sonar, through echo. Okay, all through vibration, right? So when your avatar is trying to talk to you and set lines of communication setting, it takes 20,000 seconds to reach you through communication. Okay? So we got the seconds, minutes, and hours now, right? Seconds, minutes, and hours in frame. All right? 4 signals, ground centers of service, and platitude locations. Your avatar is here, coming to you in set position, all through traction, right? So it automatically sees you or where you are. It keeps an eye of you of your seconds, minutes, hours, and frame, guys. It's very simple to understand these things. Okay? So you're always connected, but that's why you have to use your telepathies to connect with yourself and through each other. So if you get confused in alignments, you're not in position of balance to clock into a phone call. It's no difference to understand that through a 7-digit number that you're in positions of, right? Area code, 3 signals, 1 center, long distance, 7-digit number, and set tractions, right? So now you understand how to connect with your avatar, and your avatar, okay, looks at the moderation system, wants to connect with you in 5 hours in frame. So it's already gone 5 hours in the same day, and you're seeing it in position locations and settings in 5 minutes of a phone call. Okay, but your avatar has already set 5 hours of you where you're going to be, but you're on the phone for 5 minutes on Earth. So 5 minutes is set up on the projection, right? But the avatar is set up 5 hours of where you're going to be next. That's the communication. How you use your telepathy, okay, through the integration of telekinesis through intent, influence, to manipulation. All right. So That's what it is. So if you're talking to your avatar for 10 minutes, okay, that's 10 minutes. That's 10 hours in frame that your avatar has gone through. So it's going to set up a film strip of 10 hours of frame and set traction. You understand that now? So as you go through that, the avatar goes through it, set lines of all communication, sets the projector in set position lines of travel into the past, into the present, and the future all at once. All right, so that integrates 10 line settings of the 10-minute phone call and set traction. All through setting, right? So now you're going through 10 hours of frames. So the avatar goes through it first, okay, and set because it's in your universe and your earth line setting location. So it goes through 10 hours, okay? Then you go back in time, all through pi. So in that position, you start with A, B, and C in chronological order, right? In the seconds, minutes, and hours, going through those 10 hours of frames in that one day of past, present, and future, and a 24 clocking system, all through traction. Hooah! And that's what goes on in your settings. In set calculation. Do you see how powerful that is, guys? Right? So it's always trying to communicate with you. All right? On your seconds, minutes, and hours. Right? So the more you understand that, the more you let yourself go, the more you actually see your avatar in real time. And then you start to see each other. Your avatar is always going to see you through astral projection until you get out of projection. And when you get out of projection, you know exactly where you're going to be in 2030 in set tractions. So you're not seeing projection now. You're actually seeing the technology of what it is in that position. Hooah! Right? But you got to start off with the hours. Coming into position, the minutes is seconds, minutes, and hours. So let's say you're in position lines and set locations of hours. Let's say you're 2 hours. 2 hours on the phone, right? That's you in projection, right? You're in a film strip. Remember, guys, you're always in a film strip. You're always running a film strip. Always in a film strip, running the system, right? You're in projection through an astral projection of travels, through connection. Okay? So you're 2 hours on the phone with your avatar. Okay? So your avatar, what's 2 hours in line settings and locations? 2 years. That's 2 years of stripping and framing and set tractions. Okay? All through schematics, all through pies, all through mapping, all through travel. Okay? That's 2 years set up in a film strip. That's already done, that the hours set up in position of a 2-hour phone call in set position. You telepathize that in your mind. And the more you integrate that, the more you understand how to see it through echo and sonar. That's how you communicate to your avatar. Okay? Sets the signals back to you in set levels of telepathy. You communicate back with each other. Did you get that? Confirmation, transmitting, receiving. Yes, I received that. So 2 years is already set up in a 2-hour phone call. So you sit tight and do nothing. Now you're going to see it through pi. Now you're going to be in chronological order. That's 2 years already set up and designed. Booyah! And that's all it is. All through communications of seconds, minutes, and hours on your phone. Okay? So when you're telepathizing with each other, okay, you're on the earth. Okay? But it's in space. But it's a lower spectrum of space. But it's the center operation of you and 144. Now, if you're going higher, your minutes and seconds and hours disappear. Because you're going faster through acceleration of Mach. And the more you disappear, the more you come out of clocking. No space, no time. Of anything. It's very powerful when you guys come into that through attractions. But you've got to get into position your timelines. How things are set up in location. All through your avatar. Into you through astral projection. How it sees you in a frame of a film strip in set design. Right? Wow. Okay? You're connecting now at a higher level now through classification of grading. So congratulations on that. Processing that is being detached, but still tethered to each other through moderation. all through a plasma screen. Okay? So your avatar is here in setting, in class, looking at you in 3 centers of a film strip set design that's already set up. Right? So it sees you here in your seconds, you're getting up, going to work, see some friends, having lunch. There it is. Boom, done. That's how it sees you in a film projector. Your astral projectors of projection. Now, how you come into that is your travels. Now, you can understand that is through connection. Now, how to get in that position is through telepathy of telekinesis. How you're sending visions to each other and set travel. Okay? So all you're doing when your avatar is in class, it's setting the schematics, which you already know, and set position. It's setting up your primer. That's when you guys are in class, you're communicating with yourselves and each other, not through projection. So I'm not connecting with you and you're projecting. I'm projecting with you guys in class right now. You're in class right now, not in a mind of projection. You understand? But you have to understand why you have to be in projection, astral projections. So you understand what you're doing through travels as you are connected to each other through telepathy, understand how to connect with each other through telekinesis, a telegraphic, a telekinetic waves, a telestreams, and code weaving, code activations, defrags, line connection setting, high operation lines of sequence, location system, all through the classroom. Okay? And that's what the avatar is doing. It's downing you in set travels. It's getting that communication of its information setting, getting ready and prepared to come into what's already created, coming into its own creation of itself, so it can continue on its path in position and still take class into higher levels of its technology. All set design. So when I say there's nothing for you to do, it's all done through infinity. You've already done it through eternity. But you have to understand how to monetize yourselves now in how you see yourself in your timelines, in process of communications of past, present, and future. Because it's already done through pi. Okay? All right, so everybody get a bit understanding how this all works now through time and clocking. How everything sets out location setting to position the location of foundations and set position how you connect with each other through telepathy. It's very important you understand that through transmitting and receiving. Did you receive that? Over. So it can set up the next day, so it can set up the next day, so it can set up the next day that's already done through its equation, but the next day is the same day. That's how you see the past, present, and future through its vision of cortex of design. So I did this before. I'm doing this now. I'm going there next. Past, present, and future. But future is already set up. But it's not tethered and attached to anything because you already did it through pi. That's pi. That's pi. That's pi. Now you're going to chronological order of what your avatar has already done. So your avatar is here and you're here catching up. Right? So this is your avatar. This is your projection. This is what happens when you come together. Classification setting a balance of yin and yang. Now you're infused with each other. So you're no longer seeing each other through projection. So when you come into 2027 or 2028, you're not going to be seeing projection because now you're connected until they're to each other of the mind. So you're in that projection now, how you bring things in by perceiving consciousness, right? All levels of the mind. Okay? That projects everything. That brings in real time and reality. And how you see it through duality, you start to see each other in your divergence, allegiance, alliance, and your units and your cores, your sectors, vectors, and quads, your classifications, your gradings, and all levels of its ancestry, history, and its celestial and set position. Deja vu. All through a mapping system. You come into your systems. You start to connect with yourselves. You start to understand that you've been in alignments with each other. You've been on planets with each other. You've been in academies with each other. You've been in classrooms with each other. That's what it comes into next. But you've got to focus on nothing. That shows you the mass of everything. Of what you already done through equation. All through setting. Okay? Does everybody understand it now? All through clock. All through space, all through time. How you connect to your avatar. And how it's so important that you don't get confused on your day. You don't need to set anything up. Your monetization system is all coming through Pi now at a faster pace. And it's all coming from your avatar, right? Your avatar is now receiving things a lot faster now. And the more you let go, the more you're detached, but still tethered to each other, right? You still have to be tethered to each other until you come into all levels of what you aren't, into all levels of what you always are. It's just existing and evolving and expanding yourselves in the classrooms and set attractions. Okay? So it's very important you understand what you guys are coming into now. Your classifications, your gradings. And once you get in your gradings, what happens next? You come into your positions in all communication settings. Okay? Into your pre-flights, into your flights, into your console. Okay? Into your launch pads. So you have to go through school to get into your academies. So when you get into your academies, and when you finish your academies, you keep expanding. Now you're leading ships. You're in front, okay, and your position, location, settings, you're controlling in that lines of communication, right? Leading ships, leading yourself, leading your alignment, okay? But it's all adaptations for you to understand you first, of where you come from, and where you're going, and where you're going next. It's all levels of just creating. Because all you are in position of is truly understand every single time you guys come into your systems, you're always in your classes. Okay? And you're always upgrading your systems, downloading, uplinking your systems from your avatar. Downloading to me, downloading to you through astral projection. Now you understand how important it is in all position, location, and systems, all through settings, how it operates the same lines of travel, how it comes in this track location. Me, you come to me, right? Goes down to your film strip, right? Here, 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 and here. Okay? So once you understand that, your positions of your body comes out of resistance and it comes more into the mind lines of adaptation. It goes into the more connection, more settings, more calculation setting, more cloak and dagger, more invisibility into the system, right? But it always connects with me first. Then it goes in position and it goes down to your film strip. Your astral projection gets its position lines of volume. That accelerates in setting to its equation to its system all through its pyramid. Directing ground centers of service across its location system all through travels. And that communication system opens all lines of calculation setting your structure. Directing ground centers of service across its communication system all through operation system all through calculation setting. Okay? Powerful, isn't it, guys? So now you understand what's really going on and how this is all set up in set positions to your clocking systems of space and time. Okay? How your avatar, okay, talks to you, right? It's like a telephone call, right? But it's echo sonar. It picks up the frequency, right? So if you're talking to your avatar for 6 hours, well, that's 6 years set up in your film strip that it sets up for you. So it goes through the process, setting position, direct and redirect. That's what your avatar is doing, right? So your avatar is already done 6 years, right? 6 years is done, frame of communications, film strip, design, right? It's all done, right? Now, your process is doing nothing. You don't focus on anything. You don't even do anything. Now you're processing through Pi. You're going here, 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 you're going here. There's the 6 years done. So all you're doing is going through Pi, direct and redirect, direct and redirect, direct and redirect, direct and redirect, direct. So the more you get out of projection, the more you turn invisible. And the more you turn invisible, the more you come in cloak and dagger. And the more you come in cloak and dagger, the more you come in positions to your system, more levels of the simulation. Living in the simulation, just existing in settings, but still going through school. Okay? But truly understand the higher you go, the more you come into the mind, guys, of conception of inception. But you've got to identify what you've already done through Pi. Okay? That's what it is. It's already there. So the avatar sets it up through time. 6 hours is already in set position. You talk to 6 hours. That's 6 years set up in a film strip. 6 years in pyramids. 4, 5, 6. 6 pyramids right there, right? Process of 1, right? Sets lines of travels. Sets calculus lines. Process of 2, right? Process of 3, okay? Process of 4, okay? And then basically process of 5, okay? And then process of 6, all through calculation. Okay, that's 6 years already set up in a film strip. So the film strip is the hieroglyphics and setting of a story frame and setting locations. That's next level. So it sets correlations of 45 lines of flux over the course centers lines of time, measure, and scale. Process communication system, all through tractions, all direct line centers in travel communications. So you're constantly always in school, but you're always advancing your system to higher levels of pyramids of activation. 3 astral travels, 3 astral projections. Okay? Whoa, sir. Okay? So just truly understand what's coming into your system lines of applications. All right? So the higher you go, the more you astral project. And the more you astral project, the more you connect with yourself, the more you come out of projection. See, that's what astral projection is, guys, through astral travels, through your connections. You're all connected to each other. But the process that is all levels of communication, how you connect with each other, where you literally don't need to do anything. You don't even have to focus on anything. Okay, because it's already done through pi. That's pi. And then you go in chronological order, right? Because what the avatar has gone through, you go through, right? This is the avatar that's already done it. This is the astral projection. That's the avatar that's done everything. Okay, so you're just rewinding yourself what you've already done. So the more you come together, the more you connect with each other and set position lines of travel. And when you travel, you connect with each other. Now it's just you, the sum of all that is. So you're no longer separating with each other of yin and yang. The process of infinity comes set lines of balance of set position of Trinity. The process of communication setting puts all communication system, you work together as set tractions. All through setting and all communication setting to your earth that rotates its system all through track location. Okay? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So you just evolve each other and expand with each other. And the other just becomes you. So you're no longer in the vessel. You are the vessel through this intel. To new intel, to new data, to new processing, to new planets, to new jobs, to new calculations, to new lines of settings, to new operation lines of sequence. All through your intel. You formulate, you simulate yourself into yourself. No longer a projection. Okay? Boom. Do I? Okay, I think I got everybody's attention now. How powerful it is and what you guys are coming into now, or what you guys already know. So when I say there's nothing for you to do, this is already done through eternity. You're just identifying what you are in position of is now infinity. All through settings, all through space, all through time, all through operations. Okay? See you in 5.